Hi, welcome back, and today we're going to talk about the unit circle. So we're going to redefine the trigonometric functions sine and cosine with respect to the unit circle, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, and so I'm now going to go through and actually define sine and cosine a little differently, okay? So this is an example of a unit circle, and so what is a unit circle? It's a circle that's centered at the origin that has a radius of 1, okay? So here I drew a unit circle, and I've put a point, so let's say this is a point that's on the line, okay? And so this ray here, this line segment here can span all the way around the unit circle, and I've got the angle theta, okay, that represents the reference angle, excuse me, and then we got this point xy. Now this S represents the arc length. Okay, now the cool thing about this using a unit circle is that if you remember, the formula for arc length was S equals r theta. But in this case here, since r, right, is equal to 1, we get S is equal to theta. So now what we could do is, because we're dealing with the unit circle, we could treat the arc length, right, is equal to the angle, and therefore we can write each one of these coordinates for any point along the circle as a function of the angle. Okay? So if we apply the x coordinate here, so how do we get the x coordinate? So the x coordinate is this coordinate, right? So we've got x and then we've got y, right? And so how can we define x? Well, we can use what function, what trig function? Cosine, right? So we can relate the x to 1, right, by using the cosine of theta. So we know cosine of theta equals what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So we get x over 1. So we get x is equal to cosine theta, and we can do the same thing for y. Y is going to be what? It's going to be sine theta. So we get sine theta equals y over 1. And so now we can define x and y using cosine and sine respectively. Okay? So now we can say x is equal to cosine theta and y is equal to sine theta. And so now we can represent every point along the unit circle as in terms of the trig functions cosine theta comma sine theta. So now that's going to be helpful in when we start talking about measurements. Okay. So what we're going to do, is there anything else I want to say here? No, that's it. That's pretty much it. So let's go, we're going to do some examples and then see this work, but that's pretty much it. Have a great day.